Our main focus today is on the NLC planned strike. And Utwekong, you're of the civil society. I'm sure you watched that particular interview where the NLC President Joe Ajaero did talk about the essence of that strike. What's your take on the timing of the strike?
You see, I think it's coming at the right time. Nigerians have been so pushed to the wall. You cannot beat a child and deny him from crying. What the president, what the executive did when the strike was first proposed, when he, when the president removed the fuel subsidy, and then the fuel pump price was increased, the NLC and the TUC came up, to propose a strike action. The presidency went to the National Judicial Court and obtained court order to restrain labor from going on strike. You are simply making it look like, you are beating a child and you don't allow the child to cry. Nigerians want opportunity to ventilate their anger, to ventilate their grievances, in a peaceful protest. That
by going on streets.
In a peaceful protest that, look, every country, every democracy can only be strong and stronger if the citizens have the opportunity to express themselves, not just coming to speak on a TV program like this, but being on the street to protest, to ventilate that anger that has been eating me up, that has been burning in me, but do it peacefully. So what the NLC has proposed, you must note that it is not a strike action. It is a protest. Now, protest is not only for NLC. Protest is for both NLC and Nigerians. NLC is only going to be the umbrella within which the Nigerians will now go out to be able to ventilate their anger. And so we, in our society group, the CHRAN, we endorse that protest because for the first time after the NSAS protest that was hijacked by politicians to commit mayhem and hoodlums took over the entire thing, we've never had any other protest where Nigerians will go to the street, be able to ventilate their anger.
But
their anger is not violent.
Is it necessary?
You have seen.
Is it necessary?
You have seen.
There are other mediums through which you can ventilate.
What
is it necessary?
The point is the presidency or is the president now? Let me address the president. Is the president listening to me?
The president hears you.
Is he listening to what I'm saying?
He hears you.
Has he been able to pick anything from what I'm saying and make sense in his governance?
Well, his body language has shown some level of practicality.
Now, if the president listens to what I'm saying, you said you heard the Labour president, Joe Ajaero, speaking on
a television.
Good. Did the president listen to that interview? Was he able to pick out sense from what the president of NLC said? You also heard the TUC president addressing press conference. Did the president listen to that press conference? Was able to pick out sense from those press conferences? Has the president sit down on his own from Monday to Friday, listen to television interviews like this and listen to analysts and critics?
He has aides who are supposed to do that for him and then give him the information.
I'm now at the box up at the president's table. If the aides listens, do they send the cuttings to the president? Do they put out the press review, all the news cuttings to the president for him to see what Franklin the song is saying, what the president is saying, what the NLC is saying? They cut back all those and put on his table. And then they sit down and then say, okay, let's do this, let's do that. That is why it seems the president is not seeing all this, or it seems he's not even listening to us. So the only way he will be meant to listen is when he now knows that Nigerians are on the street peacefully, telling the president, carrying placard, going to stand on the rain, stand in the sun, let the world watch, and note that the country is not faring any better.
Is that necessary? I ask again.
That is why I have told you.
Forgive me to barge in. I'm so sorry, Tuekong. At the end of the day, I keep finding myself repeat the question, is that necessary? The reason I'm repeating that is because the president is barely 2 months in office.
The policies he has made has revised the economy 3 years backward.
But the economy was heading to a halt before he came into office.
What
we just came off before the president assumed office.
You see, Nigerians are not interested in heading were interested in what we are currently seeing. Now, what we are seeing today is that the price of commodity has calculated, the price of inflation is about 22.7%, 72%, higher than what we had. The price of every item in the market has gone higher. Tenants are, paying so much to landlord. Food items have gone high. And so what are we saying? And then the salaries of Nigerians, those who are in the public service, still remain static. Those who are in the private sector, how are they making it? Are you able to get fuel? At what cost? Yesterday I bought fuel, 630 naira.
630.
30 in Uyo, and I bought fuel about 30,000. It didn't go anywhere in my fuel gauge. How much am I earning per salary? How much am I earning? And that will take me for 3-4 days. And this fuel, you see, that's why that the fuel, that the pump price is increased. The fuel owners also adjusted the pump. So even when you buy this fuel at 630, the pump is also being adjusted. So Nigerians are paying too much. And look at the fact that the president is saying that they are making provision to give the National Assembly members 70 billion palliative for them to be able to make up and adjust and be able to carry out their function.
But hold on.
We are suffering.
But hold on.
So it's simply they're taking from Peter to pay Paul.
Allow me, when you say they're taking from Peter to pay Paul, I'm wondering how, because you're in this country when it was speculated 8,000 naira, and of course that was greeted by some kind of uproar. And the president has reviewed that, has stepped that, right? And the president, as we speak, is having talks. Is it not commonsensical that the president should be allowed some, latitude, especially at this point, because he's yet to constitute his cabinet? And these are like the foot soldiers who are going to be interfacing with Nigerians. Currently, the president is grappling with a lot on his table. Don't you think, Otuekong, if you were the president, with all of this before your face, will you not be overwhelmed? Don't you think you deserve to breathe?
If the kitchen is too hot for the president, he should leave the kitchen. He campaigned to Nigerians seeking to be there to save Nigerians. Within 60 days, the country is going downward instead of going high, instead of going upward.
No fault of his.
Good. Now, what has he done to cause this? What has he done to also stop it? We are heading to a crash, and you are the pilot, and you're telling us tighten your belt. We are heading to a crash. That is simply what he's saying. What is he doing to stop the crash? Now, he came on board and announced stoppage of the fuel subsidy payment. We have said that subsidy is a scam. We've said that, we agree with him. But between that day you announce it till today, this is 60 days, what have you done to ameliorate the suffering that we are going through? Now, let's look at it this way. You said you have completely deregulated the petroleum
downstream sector.
How come when NNPC, GMD, Melekere announces pump price, every other marketers would sell the same price? The last time I came here, we were discussing about Melekere announcing pump price, that they due to the exchange rate and all those stuff. And I told you that even that day, even while he was making the announcement, within 1 hour, I had to rush to NNPC station in Uyo, and I bought it at the price that he announced. So are you telling me that the fuel left Abuja and immediately reached Akwa Ibom? The answer is no. They even have a reserve in their storage tank. But immediately that announcement was made, immediately that was made, they just go ahead and begin to sell. And this is supposed to be like a government, mouthpiece. So if NNPC is the one that is now fixing pump prices, and the government put up a committee that was discussing, and then the government went to court, obtained court order, restrain NLC and TUC from going to protest.
Strike.
Now, NLC and TUC have agreed to obey the court order. Now, in the course of obeying this court order, Melekere came up again, and another increment. So the essence of this protest now is not based on the initial. I've heard people say there's a court order restraining NLC and TUC. The court order was based on the initial plan, planned protest, which was hinged on the first subsidy that was removed. But right now, the current one which we will embark on by next week Wednesday is subject to the announcement that Emele has made that has lifted the pump price from where it was to 630. And that is what we are saying. And if something is done now, before you don't eat again, another pump price will come up again. So what are we saying? The government is telling NLC and TUC to be patient. And the government is still increasing pump prices. And the government is telling us that because of the exchange rate, why can't you fix your own refineries? What is, I mean, what is there?
Are you going to fix the refineries in
then,
1 month?
Then
in
don't
1
increase
month?
pump prices.
In 1 month?
Then what you should do, like what the president should do is, while you are trying to fix your refineries, don't increase pump prices. Because doing so means to put Nigerians into more hardship, into more pains.
If you do not increase your pump price and you're still importing, of course, you know people have to pay through their nose.
You see, Ike, we have modular refineries that government should, patronize.
Do we?
I said we have modular refineries.
Do we have?
I said we have. I'm telling you that we have up to 10 of them. And the government has refused to allow them, give them opportunity to breathe, to support them.
Are you not referring to the illegal activities that goes on in the fringes of both fire in rivers and a couple of riverine areas?
I don't mean those ones that are illegal bunkering and the rest. No. I mean, we have modular refineries that are not being supported. These are they carry out legal operations. What the government need to do, for instance, let me give you an example. How they operate, they simply know where you have wellhead. Like let's even use ExxonMobil in Akwa Ibom, for instance. ExxonMobil will have their wellheads in the sea. What the refinery will do is they just go there and connect to the wellheads of the ExxonMobil tank farm, and then be getting the raw, that is the crude oil, feeding their refineries, and then they will refine it there and then selling it within the localities. So if, for example, you have 10 and they spread across the oil-producing communities of the 9 oil-producing states, if you have these refineries functioning and they are producing, 10 of them are producing, they get supply from the wellheads of these multinational oil companies. You make it, you refine here, you sell here. But what is happening now is that Mobil will explore the crude oil and take it abroad and refine and bring back. So what we are simply saying, government should patronize, should make policies that will favor these refineries, so that when Mobil is, for example, why is Mobil is because at least that one is within Akwa Ibom. When you now sell this crude oil on naira prices, not dollar, to buyers who are operating these modular refineries, so they will now buy it from you and then refine it. Now you have cut what? You have cut the export, and import cost. You've cut down the issue of the exchange rate. The first has cut off because they are buying it with naira. You make it a policy that they must sell it to them with naira, not with dollar. That is what we are simply saying. When we say support, they are there, but they are operating under a very stiff condition that they are buying this crude oil with dollar instead of naira from those companies that are drilling oil within the country, because when they export this oil, they sell it in dollar when they refine and they bring them back. So what we are simply saying, what has the presidency or the president done to ameliorate our suffering since coming on board to remove fuel subsidy? The answer is none. I have not seen any. And instead we keep having hardship. Today we have cost of prices have gone higher. How much do you earn in a month? Even if a worker that is earning 200,000 naira in a month, that will not be enough, because as the prices keep going high, it keeps affecting your income. And yet you don't have the power sector, it's not there. The road network is very bad. Security, you are paying for security. You are paying so much as a Nigerian to be able to live, and you also pay your taxes.
As much as I would like to align with what you're saying, which are current realities.
Thank you for being convinced.
We cannot.
For the first time.
Well, I'm going somewhere. As much as I'd like to align, I think it is only normal and at the same time considerate that the president be given time. Before the president came into office, we already were paying through our nose for fuel. We were already facing economic hardship. We came out of the Naira redesign policy, the Naira swap policy, and all whatnot, which of course the CBN, former CBN governor, is still in court for that. There were several issues. We were battling with inflation. These are no making of the president. The president is just coming into office. And the first thing that, I expect, or I thought, that we Nigerians would probably do is give him soft landing and then allow him to, regulate some of these things, to fix some of these things. These are not rocket science, expectations that we just expect that, he comes into office, we snap our fingers, and in 1 month, everything will be fixed. I'm still going back to the issue of patience.
You see,
the president
are you now saying or alluding that the president is overwhelmed?
The president isn't overwhelmed.
Good. Did he,
to the best of my knowledge, yes. I'm not holding breath.
Okay. Did he know of all these challenges before he campaigned to become president?
I want to believe.
Did he say he will fix this country? I haven't seen these challenges. Did he, study the mechanics, the economy, the security? When he went to the Chatham House in London to campaign, to seek for support, to tell the world what he was going to do, what are those things he said he will do? Was it not to fix this thing that we are facing now? He knew it, he saw it, and so what is strange?
But you can't fix these things in 1 month.
That is the more reason he should have been patient rather than making policies that will be adding more pains. You see, why this NLC and TUC is calling for protest? It's not because of what he inherited. It's because of what he created. He created this, what we are having now as monster. The monster we're having for 60 days today that has drained us. Nigerians were better off managing where we were. And this NLC didn't call for strike before the end of the government. They did not call for strike.
The whispers of strike had been during the Buhari administration, even to the twilight of Buhari administration, they were still having talks.
No, the talks wasn't on the issue of fuel subsidy removal. The then president wanted to remove it, and Nigerians told him, "You don't remove it. Try to plan, work towards it." And then what he did was to go for the soft loan of $80 billion. $800 million that he secured, and then he wanted to remove it. He now made a budget provision up till the end of June.
6 months.
6 months. So the cycle would have ended in June.
For the provision of payments of subsidy?
That is it.
But hold on. I love where you're going with this, Otwekong. You also listened to the NNPCL, of course, GMD, Mele Kyari, saying that there was no provision, that there was no payment.
When did he say this?
It was in an interview when he was clearing the air.
When did he say it?
In this administration.
That's the point. You see, I have said here that Mele Kyari is an inherited baggage. He's among those causing problem for the president.
Why would you say that? I
have told you here that the man should be removed. In fact, part of what NFC should add in their placard should be that Mele Kyari should be removed. He's among those causing problem for the president. And the president, he came and inherited him. Why is he still there?
These are delicate
matters.
What
is he doing?
These are delicate matters. You don't just remove the NNPCL GMD.
Now, what has he been
remove him?
Okay, let's even look at his tenure. He was appointed 2019, 3 years down the line. What has he been able to achieve for Nigerians in that sector? The only thing that NNPC is doing today is to import fuel. That's all. Nothing more than that, than to import fuel and to fix pump prices. Are they been able to refine?
According to you.
That is what they are doing.
According to you.
What else are they doing?
You.
No, what else are they doing?
There are other roles they are playing
like
that
what?
must they come and announce that to you. They are playing some statutory roles.
They are the major, as far as we're concerned, as of today, the only role of Mele Kyari is to import petroleum pump price, petrol for us, and then fix the pump prices.
But the sector has been deregulated.
And
we now have more marketers come on board. You were aware when the announcement of shipments came in.
Yes.
When we were told that more marketers have now brought in products into the country.
And market
forces played out. That's exactly what happened. Market forces played out. It's no making of the president. This is what you get when you deregulate. You get hard a bit before it eventually circulates.
You are even raising more contentious issues. Market forces didn't go around to campaign to become president. it was Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu that came to Akwa Ibom and said he wants to be president. He said it. He came around. So we didn't vote for market forces. We did not vote for Melekere to tell us that there are more shipment coming. Is that what we're doing? That's the point. So that is an achievement of Melekere, that we have more import of fuel. When he's sitting on 3 refineries that we have, none is functioning, none is producing. None is producing, yet we have staff there. And none is producing a single barrel of petroleum to add to what we are importing. If you are importing and you are producing and add up, it would have been enough. What we're simply saying here is supply, demand and supply. Put more supply, it will reduce the cost of demand. But what we are saying here,
we are not lacking in
that
supply.
is the point.
We are not lacking in supply.
But
there's more than enough.
But why are you now increasing pump prices? If you have enough, why increase the pump prices? So what we are simply saying, NNPC is simply importing petroleum pump price, petrol for us, and then be fixing the pump prices, telling us what is played out in the market. If the NNPC were to be effective, if the GMD were to know his onions, the first thing he would do is to fix our 3 moribund refineries. I use the word moribund because they are completely none is working, and yet each 3 months or 4 months they will put money. They say they do thorough maintenance and putting workers there, paying them with billions, and yet we don't have a single barrel of petrol being refined from those moribund refineries. So, and then you have a GMD who sit down to tell us what is played out in OPEC, what is playing out in Ukraine and Russia, how it's affecting us. When you have the crude oil here, and you say you will export it and later import. NNPC today is the major importer of petroleum products in Nigeria. Why? Why? You see, let me shock you. Why I keep on hammering on NNPC is because I know what is happening in NNPC. My dad worked in NNPC for 27 years and got his pension. In fact, his letter of retirement was signed by President Buhari, who was then Minister of Petroleum, 1984. So I know what is playing out there. Those people are just sitting down there, wearing tie, wearing suit, and be rolling on the executive seat and telling us what is playing out in OPEC. What are they doing? So what are we saying? The president should remove Melekere and put someone who understands how to, increase more supply and beat down the prices of petroleum pump prices. Once that is done, all this issue of going to strike will not be there because you will have enough. I even saw someone make a joke. I say, hello people, there is petrol everywhere. No one is buying. Is anything the matter? The matter is that there is no money to buy petrol. Today, even if you buy petrol, like I said, 30,000 naira, it won't take you anywhere because they've also adjusted the pump prices, the pumps. Has NNPC subsidiary DPRO been able to go around the country to check? Have they been able to go around? Have you heard them seal up any station? No. So what are we simply saying? So what the president should do going forward is to liberalize the sector completely. I'm coming, Ike, I'm coming. Completely. Because petroleum is under exclusive legislative list. Don't forget that. Don't like power. The power. I think he
signed the power bill recently.
Power bill recently that gave the state the autonomy to be able to do it. So the president should be able to completely, because you have NNPC Limited that sit there as autopus to regulate what happens in that sector. That's why when NNPC fixed pump price, you see AP, you see Wando and the rest selling on the same pump price of NNPC. Okay, why is it that when NNPC fixed pump price, you can hear Wando telling you differently? They will all queue and hide under NNPC because NNPC is now their mouthpiece. So what are we saying? What has the president done to ameliorate our suffering since coming on board 60 days down the line? The answer is none.
But palliatives.
Who want palliatives?
Sukkot is on the pipeline.
Who want palliatives?
These are things that are planned. You don't just roll it out. And when the president does that,
don't allow those boys to go and bust the pipeline, because this thing has been on the pipeline for 60 days now. So you say pipeline, which of the pipeline? The one that takes fuel from Akwa Ibom to Abuja, that carries the palliative. Don't allow boys to go and blast the pipeline and say that because you say they heard you say that this is in the pipeline. This thing should be real. We should see it on ground, not pipeline. We are passing through a lot here in this country. That should not be the case. What am I simply saying? President came on board without having the cabinet. He stood on the ground where he was being sworn in and announced that he has removed fuel subsidy. Who advised him?
That was a statement that was taken out of context.
And that wasn't even in the, that wasn't even his address.
No, hold on, please.
It wasn't even there.
Let's get
today
this
he has
clear.
compounded the crisis.
No, let's get this clear. Let's get this clear. As much as we are Nigerians and we're facing this, because there's nobody who's not facing it, right? We understand that. The president understands this, and of course, he has pleaded with Nigerians to please be patient with him. Some of the policies, hold on, please.
For how long?
I mean, it was just today, before the beginning of the show, you and I were talking about the ministerial list.
So far? You know, lives that have been wasted, that have died so far because of this increment of pump price. You know people who don't have money to go to hospital. There are people who salaries can't even take care of them again. I mean, you see, there are things that you do after wider consultations. There are things you do, you know, you just start up and then you say it without minding the consequences. What the president did, it wasn't in his address. He spoke, without looking the address.
But that has also helped us. That has also helped us to get over 400 billion.
Where is the money?
Of what we've been paying for subsidy.
Where is the money?
The money has been channeled into something else.
Where is the money?
It will be used in the interest of the country.
You
also know. Hold on. I'm not holding brief. You're a journalist. I'm a journalist. We both read. We have access to information. You cannot say you don't know these things I'm saying. You cannot say you don't know.
Ike, has this money been put into our roads?
Some of these actions,
yes,
as painful as they may appear in the interim, will benefit us in the long run.
When is this long run?
Is there any time that you introduce a reform without a temporary inconvenience?
You see,
let's be real. I want to ask you. I want to ask you.
How long?
Today we're talking about Lee Kuan Yew. He has become the model. Everybody talks. Lee Kuan Yew, Lee Kuan Yew. Nobody talks about what the people went through when he was introducing those reforms. It was not automatic.
You see, Ike, understand our standpoint of view. We are speaking for the masses. Before coming down here, I walked the road. I saw people who are hawking. I saw people who are scavenging from refuse dump, picking food from refuse dump to eat. That the crime rate has increased. People are dying basically on a daily basis. I know. If I show you my inbox, you will see what I receive. Appeal I receive every now and then. Because people feel that maybe I have a little to even share, and I've been sharing. So what I'm simply saying, the president was in a haste to carry out these reforms.
The president was in a haste to get this country working.
And today is working.
The president was in a haste to fix the country.
And he's fixing it now.
Let's cut him some slack.
That's the point I'm
saying.
saying.
Let's cut him some slack.
I agree with you.
Let's cut him some slack.
I told you that the president, I was among those with the president today when we were on the street in 2013, 2014, calling for subsidy scam. Calling for the head of the then president, Jonathan, to be removed. And as God will have it, he couldn't win the contest. He lost. Today I'm still here again. How many years after? Like 8 years after, to discuss first subsidy. Are we not ashamed of ourselves? We were on the street. The president was among those who were on the street, calling subsidy a scam. Part of the campaign agenda, the mantra of the APC government was the issue of subsidy being removed as it was a scam. But 8 years after, I am still here discussing subsidy.
But it's been removed.
Now how did you remove it? You see, the president should have. I am not saying it shouldn't have been removed. Get my argument. Now, what the Labour is saying is very simple. You want to remove fuel subsidy. Call a meeting today of stakeholders. Discuss it. How will you go about removing it? Put those palliative in place. Put this in place so that when you remove it gradually, Nigerians will not feel the pains. But what he did was he stood at the Eagle Square and removed it.
It was a policy statement.
It
was a policy statement that was taken out of context.
Okay. Has he come back to say that Has he come back to say that he was quoted out of context? He has not. He has not said so. That is why it is still in
Is
force.
there any leader who comes on board without making any strong policy statement?
If you are saying that it was done, it was misquoted, has he issued a statement to say I was misquoted? He has not. So from that day till today, it has remained. They are not defending it.
I'm going to ask your parting shot. And your parting shot is this. I know that your movement, which is also in the civil society, an affiliate also of Labour, TUC, NLC, all of you are already gearing up for protest next week. Is there no common ground at this point? Is this protest going to bring about the solution? As your parting shot.
Well, I will be, for once, very happy to be on the street. Because when we're not on the street, it makes us feel that we are not even being heard. That's why I ask you. I'm here now.
So you're feeling like you're docile?
I've not been heard. I've not been heard by the president. So he will hear us more when we are on the street. And don't forget that protest is part of democratic, processes, part of democracy, part of the right we have as citizens.
So you want to go on this protest?
On the street.
You want to go on this protest?
I would choose to go to the street. Let the rain, the sun hit me. Let the president now see that the policy he brought on May 29 is what is affecting us and push us to the streets.
All right. Well,
demand for good governance.
Okay. Well, my guest has been the State Director for the Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, Otuekon Franklin E. Song. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
A human rights activist. Of course, he's told you his position, what they're planning to do with Labour. Labour, of course, is insisting. The federal government has also told them the part of the court, barring them from going on strike. But they're saying it's a protest. Let's wait to see how things pan out. We can only hope and pray. But at the end of the day, while we say, let Nigerians breathe, Nigerians also allow the president to breathe a bit. I mean, the president is trying to constitute a cabinet and see how he can, in the best interest of Nigerians, bring about some of those laudable policies and initiatives that we're expecting from him. We can only hope and pray for better days. But while we do that, let us continue to say this. God bless Nigeria. My name is Ike Chukujue. We'll do it again tomorrow. Until then, it's bye for now.
Let's talk security, current affairs, governance, politics, your view, elections, rule of law, economic issues, foreign events on the Talking Point.